Donald Trump is having a manic meltdown right now. He just fired the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner, Dr. Erica McAnterfor, after the latest jobs report was released, one of the worst jobs reports in recent history. Donald Trump fired the head commissioner of the labor statistics so that Donald Trump can now cook the books with all of his fake numbers. This follows Donald Trump's Doge firing a lot of people who aggregate the data in the first place. More on that in a minute. Donald Trump is also threatening nuclear war with Russia now after certain social media posts by the former president of Russia, Medvedev, which Donald Trump didn't like. Donald Trump is saying he's positioning 2 nuclear submarines in the appropriate regions near Russia. As we said on the MeidasTouch account, some dudes would rather start a nuclear war than release the Epstein files or talk about their jobs report. This also follows Donald Trump entering into yet another sweetheart deal with Ghislaine Maxwell, who was formerly serving a 20-year prison sentence in Tallahassee, Florida, in a maximum security type facility there. She was now moved to a minimum security facility in Southeast Texas at Camp Bryan, Texas, which is basically like a resort where we're also learning there will be no cameras or recordings in that facility. Ghislaine Maxwell wanted that deal as part of her push for a commutation or a pardon by Donald Trump, which Trump seems increasingly likely to give her. We're hearing more from the victims of Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. By the way, Trump was very close, of course, with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. We know Trump's name was all over those fires. Those victims and the victims' families are absolutely livid at Donald Trump giving Ghislaine Maxwell all of this preferential treatment and treating her like she's a star. She was one of Donald Trump's former best friends in Palm Beach. We also learned that Donald Trump's FBI removed Donald Trump's names from the Epstein files where Donald Trump's name appeared numerous times. Donald Trump put thousands of lawyers at the DOJ and the FBI to go through the Epstein files, not to release them, but to find the references to Trump and to remove those references. That has occurred. We're also learning from a new report from CBS that Donald Trump had also, what happened rather with the security surveillance footage that was released by the Trump regime and the Trump's DOJ appears to not even have the angle where Jeffrey Epstein's cell was. It seems to be an incorrect angle. Let me just read for you. This manic afternoon meltdown is serious, folks. Let me show you the post where Donald Trump has fired the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner, who I might add was confirmed by the Senate in January 2024 with a vote of 86-8. 86 senators approved her confirmation, and she was doing just a fine job, while it was very difficult for her to deal with after all of the data collectors being fired. Donald Trump writes, "I was just informed that our country's job numbers are being produced by a Biden appointee, Dr. Erica McAnterfor, the Commissioner of Labor Statistics, who faked the job numbers before the election to try to boost Kamala's chances of victory." Again, that's defamation. Right there. Donald Trump goes on to say, this is the same Bureau of Labor Statistics that overstated the jobs growth in March 2024 by approximately 818,000, and then again before the election. And Donald Trump says, I have directed my team to fire this Biden political appointee immediately. Economist Heather Long writes, President Trump says he's firing the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics after a weak jobs report was just released. The BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they put out jobs reports, CPI inflation, productivity, and employment cost index, among other key statistics. This is unprecedented in American history and will now raise concerns about U.S. data integrity going forward. Dan Coe, our friend here on the MeidasTouch network, says the following: as the former chief of staff at the Department of Labor, which oversees the Bureau of Labor Statistics, I cannot tell you how outrageous this is. Commissioners are appointed to a fixed term. We had a Trump appointee we work closely with. Nobody is faking numbers. Revisions happen. And to be crystal clear, Commissioner McAnterfor was appointed after Commissioner Beach's term ended. Beach was and is smart, qualified, and a good person, by the way. We never doubted his numbers, regardless of whether or not they were good politically month to month. Here is why this is such a big deal. The commissioner leads career statisticians who scientifically calculate the jobs numbers the world relies on to make key economic decisions. Donald Trump can and will now appoint a loyalist who will just make up the numbers for Donald Trump to benefit him politically. From this point forward, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will just be publishing whatever Trump's numbers are. And it should be noted that with what Doge previously did, it was my view that, and actually it was the view of a lot of economists out there, that the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, was not ingesting the numbers that were necessary for it to actually make the appropriate inflation determinations. 2/3 of its ingested data is now basically estimates because Doge fired all of the critical people. Now, Trump threatening nuclear war against Russia. At the same time, Donald Trump is removing sanctions against Russian banks. Trump won't mention Putin's name at all in any negative way. And at the same time that Donald Trump was withholding weapons from Ukraine, now Donald Trump goes from that to threatening nuclear war against Russia because Donald Trump doesn't like the tweets of the former Russian president, Dmitry Medvedev.
I've officially found my favorite summer shirt, and I've got to tell you all about Poncho. Imagine a shirt that feels like your favorite tee, is built for the outdoors, and still looks sharp enough for dinner out. That is the magic of Poncho. I've been living in mine all summer, chilling at the beach in the morning, running errands in the afternoon, grabbing drinks at night, and it holds up all day long. I don't know what kind of fabric Poncho uses, but it just feels good. Lightweight, breathable, dries fast, and that vented back is just the best when it's hot and humid. It's soft straight out of the box and has just the right amount of stretch. Looks-wise, these shirts deliver. Clean collar, neat sleeves, holds its shape, and it fits perfectly whether you go regular or slim. I went with the slim fit, and it is tailored without being tight. Plus, there's a sunglasses loop by the chest pocket, a hidden zipper pocket for your phone or cash, and even a microfiber cloth sewn into the hem to clean your shades. Smart details, no fluff. Poncho's got a bunch of great styles, the original, western, denim, and ultralight. You could get them in short or long sleeves, regular or slim fit, and in a ton of colors and patterns. If you've been looking for the perfect shirt, something breathable that fits great, feels even better, and stands out in a good way, give Poncho a try. Go to ponchooutdoors.com/Meidas for $10 off your first order. That's PONCHO outdoors.com/Meidas, MEIDAS, for $10 off and free shipping. Go try one out today.
Here's what Donald Trump posted. Based on the highly provocative statements of the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev, who is now the deputy chairman of the Security Council of the Russian Federation, I have ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be positioned in the appropriate regions, just in case these foolish and inflammatory statements are more than just that. Words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. Thank you for your attention to this matter. As our editor-in-chief, Ron Filipkowski, appropriately writes, Trump spent every day for the past 4 years saying that Biden was about to start World War III, and if he got elected, he would end the war in Ukraine, and we would have peace with Russia because he has a great relationship with Putin. Here is today's update on all of that. Hakimian writes, Trump deploys 2 nuclear submarines citing Russian threat. Today's distraction from the recession, nuclear war. Today's distraction from the Epstein files, nuclear annihilation. Folks, we have a madman running this country right now. A pathetic, vile piece of trash in the Oval Office, shit-posting nuclear threats, covering up for a pedo sex trafficking ring, giving Ghislaine Maxwell sweetheart deals, giving her immunity, destroying our economy, ripping away your jobs, making home prices far less affordable, causing inflation to surge. A madman, a despicable, vile, weak, pathetic piece of trash. Call him out for what he is. Don't mince words. A felon, a sexual abuser, a bankrupter, a loser. That is what he is. And again, as a lot of accounts are already posting, we're now seeing a ton of posts from the MAGA influencers saying that the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner McAnterfor should be arrested for market manipulation. The Trump regime propaganda machine now going after Chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, blaming him for the job reports, blaming the statistician, the Commissioner of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, McAnterfor right now. Oh, we got a statement from the AFL-CIO. Here's what they're saying. Recklessly firing the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner because you don't like the new job numbers won't do a thing to change the clear and simple fact. President Trump's policy choices are costing hard-working Americans their jobs. By the way, we are on tour, embedded with the AFL-CIO right now in their Better in a Union tour. They're now in Indiana. They will soon be heading to other states across the country as well. We've been with them through the East Coast, and now as they head up to Indiana and other locations like that. Andrew Bates, formerly worked in the White House. He writes the following. Trump broke his promise to release the Epstein files after learning he was in them. And by the way, now he's redacted his name within them. Now he wants to hide job numbers from the American people after learning how badly his tariffs are hurting the economy. Oh, and by the way, the tariffs fund tax giveaways for the billionaires. Folks, even The Hill has this headline right here. Trump's mental decline is undeniable. So what now? And they talk about what we've been talking about on the MeidasTouch network for a very long period of time. Here's Ghislaine Maxwell leaving her prison in Tallahassee, going into the facility that she always wanted to be at, which she's not even, I think, allowed to be at based on her status as a convicted sex trafficker. Oh, and by the way, Donald Trump is going golfing. He's going golfing in Bedminster. He's leaving to play golf, another taxpayer-funded vacation. No wonder Donald Trump's approval rating is like the lowest in American presidential history. A total and true scumbag. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.